Welcome back to another episode of Matters of the Heart and Soul podcast. This is your host, Russell Bruce, and today we have a special guest here. And not only is it a special guest, it's a family member of mine. Uh, he happens to be the nephew of my wife, and this is Mr. Dwayne Hutchison Jr. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much. Thanks.
All right. Dwayne Hutchison Jr. was born in Kansas and raised in Louisiana and Texas before relocating to Georgia in 2017. Currently, he's 33 years old and has been serving as a news director at 41 NBC for the past 6 years. Additionally, he's a proud owner of Lansing Films, a videography and photography business that he's been running for the past 9 years. He also has a passion for storytelling and capturing moments that evoke emotions. The passion led him to pursue a career in both the news industry, videography, and photography. He believes that through both mediums, he has the opportunity to share powerful narratives and to connect with people on a deeper level. You know, outside of all this great stuff, he has a beautiful wife and three beautiful daughters. And he's just a dope individual. I love talking to him whenever the family gets together. And, I'm sure today is going to be another one of those treats as well. Once again, welcome to the podcast.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having me.
Okay, so let's jump right into this. Born in Kansas, raised in Louisiana and Texas. You seem like you're moving around a little bit there. Can you tell a little bit about your childhood?
Yeah, so born in Kansas because my dad was military. So if I'm not sure, I think I moved from Kansas maybe one or two, if I can recall, moved to Louisiana where my mom, kind of relocated. Lived with my mom, my grandmother. Mike and Janie had that nuclear um, village that raised me. So I stayed there till I was about 15, I would say. Yeah, 15, moved my eighth grade year to Killeen, Texas.
Okay.
And then from there, had my middle school, high school, kind of teen slash adult life in Killeen, Texas, and then moved from Killeen to Macon, Georgia when I was 26. Me and my wife, and we had a child on the way. So now I'm in Georgia,
Yeah.
Macon.
Okay, that's what's up. And you played a little ball like myself in high school, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah, I did. I played basketball. I was a sophomore in varsity. I played point guard and shooting guard. Um, yeah, so it was a great high school year, definitely in Texas. Kind of being a jock, in high school. Kind of popular kid. So I think back in the day, that kind of matters, to guys. Kind of want to be known in sports. So sports was everything back in the day.
Yeah.
Definitely growing up.
Yeah. And one of your teammates, I think, in high school played in the NBA as well, right?
Yes, Royce ONeal right now. Shout out to Royce. He plays for the Phoenix Suns. Me and him played AU ball, high school ball. He graduated after me. He went to Baylor. Then after he went overseas, and then he got picked up for the Jazz. Then ever since been in the league ever since. He played Jazz. He got traded to Brooklyn, and now he's with the Suns. He just signed another 3-year deal with the Suns. So he's currently like 31, 32. So yeah, he's doing good. So every time he comes to Atlanta and play the Hawks, we always go see him. He give us backstage passes to go, after everybody leaves, go down the floor, meet the players. So yeah, it's amazing. I'm so proud of Royce. Royce doing a good job.
Good stuff, man. So not only are you finding success, in the work field, what you do, you're also an amazing husband and father. I got a chance to witness it firsthand several times, like
Yes,
whenever
sir.
families are together. And what's it like being the father of three young girls?
Oh, it's great. It does have its up and downs, but it is great. It's awesome. I wouldn't trade it in for the world. I love my daughters. I got Leia. She's going to be 8 in March coming up. So she's in second grade doing sports, cheerleading to soccer to basketball. And I got Layton. She's going to be 5, October 6th. And I got my last baby, Lena, finna be 3 in November, November 11th. So y'all got the same birthday. So
Wow, that is right. Special. So special things, right?
yes,
Expect
sir.
all
Yes,
of them to
sir.
do special things, but
Yes,
especially
sir.
one, right? So also like one of the things Janie and I, we had a discussion one day and I was just telling her what I don't see much of anymore is like you. Like I don't see a lot of young families. Like back in the day, you go to a grocery store, you go to the mall, whatever, you would see young couples getting out of the car, getting in the car with the stroller and the kids or a kid. You just don't see that much anymore. Usually it's just the single parent, with the child. Um, can you touch on that at all? Like, are you seeing, like within your age group, are you seeing other families like what you have, like married with children?
I see a few, but not so much as like, when I was in my teens and you had the 30-year-olds or mid 30s with their family. But I think now generation has changed. I really don't see that family issue going on, honestly. I really don't see. I see a few, kind of people I hang around with. But it's very rare how social media is now just taking over. Everybody want to be single and know the term now outside, but I don't really see that now. I think it's important to me, but I think everybody have the different perspective on when they want to settle down. You know, when I guess when is the right time to settle down or to have a family and to be that idea of you know the whole family, with the wife and the kids and going to the grocery store. Now, when me, Chelsea, and the kids go, it just be like either you see the mom with the kids or the grandparents or just maybe the father. So it's kind of you really don't see it that often. Definitely nowadays, it's kind of different. But definitely, it's very rare you see that now. Definitely, I'm 33, so you really don't see that often. You might see a lot of single couples if you do have kids, but they don't really have that family oriented going on. So it's kind of different, very different.
All right. So, in another thing, being that we're on this topic, because this is like one of those touchy points for me as well, right? Because I grew up in a household. I'm a junior as well. I'm Russell Maurice Bruce Jr., named after my dad. But my dad wasn't there. My mom and dad split up when I was very young, probably like 2, 3 years old or whatever. So, and during those years, I was playing little league baseball and middle school basketball, all the way up through high school, college. He wasn't around. He wasn't around. So, but I did have like my uncles, my brother before he went off to college, and one of my teammates from junior high, his father would always show up at practice and kind of took a liking to me and would always take me with them like on Friday nights to go to college games or go see other high schools play. And so it kind of turned into that kind of surrogate dad. But I'm touching on these things just to say how much does your childhood play into you being a husband and being a father?
That's good. That's a good question. But I think it plays a huge role because I'm more how you were, didn't have that father in the household, but still had male figures. So it's me, my mom. Of course, she had my aunties, my grandmother. Still had the male figure. My uncle still had that male figure. Even my cousin Nell, which is like my brother. So he kind of never missed games. So, but it played a huge role because I know how it is mentally growing up without that father role in the house. So I always tell myself, I'm gonna do my part to make sure I'm in the household because we have a choice. We can be, can lay up with the woman and then have that baby, but it's up to us to, okay, let's try and make it work, even though we have the child, but let's still make us work. And then that child is a factor in of everything that's going on. So it was huge, and that always was in my mind growing up, because my dad wasn't there. So I was eventually saying to myself, when I do have a family, I'm gonna do my part to make sure I'm in the household no matter what. And then that stuck a long way with me. And then I have three daughters, so and I want to change it for the world. That's actually my biggest thing that I love is being a father, seeing them grow up, seeing my oldest in sports, and I'm just like be cheering on, But it's definitely amazing. It definitely helped me to understand mentally growing up how I was growing up, and now seeing my daughters grow up with two-parent household.
There you go. So yeah, so like with me, it's the same thing, right? So you have the choice. You can either be bitter or become better,
Yes.
right? So you see a lot of times people use it as a cop out to not be there, not to show up, or you see the people who I try to pride myself to be to say, hey, I don't want to be that dude. I don't want my children to ever feel that hole in their heart the size of their father that I grew up with.
Yeah. Yeah.
But for the record, later on in my 30s or so, my dad and I became close and became pretty good friends all the way up
It's
until
crazy.
yeah,
Same here.
yeah,
Exact same thing. Exact
yeah,
same thing. Like my dad only lived 3 hours away, and we text often. So we
yeah,
definitely came closer than ever, especially when I moved to Georgia, because he lives in Oxford, Ford, so he's like 3 hours away. So we definitely became closer than ever, and kind of understanding his perspective on what happened when I was little.
exactly.
So he dealt with a lot of trauma, and then put myself in his shoes because I had a daughter. I can only understand. I definitely understand why he wasn't there with the trauma and the mental thing that he was dealing with. It was a lot for him. But my mom never bashed my father. Never growing up. She's just saying some things you won't understand until you get older. And I definitely didn't understand what he was going through until I had kids and understand. He lost his firstborn, saw his firstborn passed away. So that took him in a whole different headspace, a whole different mind frame, mindset on kids. So I mean, when we had that talk, we both shed tears and both cried. And I said, man, I can only imagine losing my firstborn and watching it. And then, it's just seeing, just seeing that mentally would take you somewhere. So I definitely understood what happened, and glad that we had to share that moment with each other because I'm his second oldest. So I'm glad that we shared that moment and finally understood what happened. But he always would call and check, even though he wasn't there. A few months at that time, call and check. But yeah, it definitely was a great conversation that we had, and much needed to be when I understood, because you can't understand something when you're not in those shoes. I have that situation. So if
Facts.
I don't have no kids, if I'm 18, 19, talking to my dad about my life, I still wouldn't understand why, because I don't have kids. So I think, it was a perfect time lining up for us to actually talk about that. So it was great conversation.
And that's good stuff, man. That's actually giving me the chills because and see that's what I'm talking about. So a lot of people like they just give up and they go pout and they become a statistic, and it's only because they don't dare do the work on themselves. Like we everybody has to heal from something, right? Like they
Yeah,
say, people are either about to go through something, going through something, or just came out of going through something, right?
for sure, for sure.
And and I always say after everything that we as a people have gone through in this country, particularly, is I always ask the question like, when does a boy become a man if there's no rites of passage?
That's good. That's real good.
You see what I'm saying? So I
Yeah,
always ask that question because it's like if you just look back, there was a time in this country where we were probably more married than any other group here, like maybe saying in the 1920s, like, post Civil War, post slavery, post Reconstruction, even with all that we were going through, we were married.
Yeah,
It's like all we had was each other. We had our families, we had our community. Like we were laughing yesterday about the big project cup that we used to use to go barter and knock on the neighbor's door and be like, hey, we got milk. Do you have sugar or you have bread? And we would just barter till you could create a meal and everybody ate. We all looked out for each other. But as far as the men, it was like, as a man, you you have to provide, protect, and produce, right? But when the whole social, political, economic structure, everything's working against you to take you away from that, to take you away from what naturally you want to do as a young man and as a grown man, now you're fighting this uphill battle. And when we don't see like a lot of examples out there, like particularly in our own households, now we got to look for it elsewhere. A lot of young brothers out there, they go looking for love in the streets, get caught up in the gangs, you know,
definitely.
or even get caught up in the wrong woman or drugs or what have you.
Yeah, for
Um,
sure.
so I commend you because to see you, just like the rest of us, to be able to, go through a little something, something, and not trying to minimize it, but to be able to pivot and to be able to continue to grow and heal. I see that you physically take good care of yourself. I always see you in the gym.
Yes, sir. Yeah,
I
yes, sir.
see that spiritually you're right, and mentally you're in the right place. And, I just want to say this as well. Me personally, I feel I hit the gold mine in finding your aunt and have her in my life. But
Yeah, for
I
sure.
also lucked up and got into an amazing family. Like I love your family.
Yeah, for sure. And
You know,
then I want to pick on that point when you said boy to a man, because honestly, I didn't become a man until I was 27. I think people say you're a man when you feel like, at least in my generation, feel like, when you're 18 or when you're 21 to go to club and buy alcohol. But it's when you have those responsibilities of, now I got to remove myself out the way and I got to love this child and be there for this child and have the responsibilities, because every man or guy can go live with a woman and do their do and then leave. So I didn't mentally become a man till I was 27 and I'm 33. I say that to the young guys all the time. I mean, they 18, 19. I say, yeah, you're a young man, but you still got a lot of learning to do. Like, life on life. Life is life, and trials and tribulations will come your way. But I told them my experience. I didn't become a man till I was 27. When you gotta provide, like you said, and take care, and it was definitely a challenge. It's definitely a challenge, definitely. But
yeah,
it was a good challenge, something that I needed to grow me. Staying with my mom, just partying and living life, and you think like, man, I get married when I'm 40 and 50, but things happen. So
yeah. Now that's good stuff. And you touched on something I was going to say. You actually said it, and it's like, so society will dictate, you're a man when you're 18 or you're a man when you're 21. That is not a man. Like, you're not a man until you can take care of yourself and you can own your own stuff, right?
right. And
So
also take accountability for your actions too.
yeah, exactly. That's what I
Yeah.
mean by owning your stuff.
Yeah. Yes,
Trying to
sir.
trying to
Yeah.
be politically correct.
Yeah.
But that's exactly what it is, because it's and I try to tell my son, my son just turned 19.
Yeah.
It's like you want to do grown things, but it's like you still need me to finance your life. So it's like you're not grown. So it's like when you don't want my money anymore, then like you don't want my knowledge and wisdom that I'm trying to impart, but you want my money.
Yeah.
But I'm saying then that you're not a man yet. So, I have these conversations with him, but it's just part of growing up and he's getting it. But we live, we learn, we grow. But let's move on because we can stay stuck there for a while because I love
For sure,
talking
for
about,
sure.
manhood and all that. But you get it, man. Once again, I'm really proud of you, man. And so let's jump into your career, right? Let's
Yes,
talk a
sir.
little bit about what you do. Can you elaborate a little bit more about what you do career wise?
So, career wise, I am a news broadcast director. So that means I broadcast the anchors, kind of tell them, what to do, kind of be in their ear, so when anchors talking, they got the little piece. So make sure they're on track with time. So just directing the broadcast. That's another source of like managing a team, which is amazing. You got your producer. So people don't understand with news, a producer puts together a show. The director brings it to life. So everything y'all see on TV as far as news related wise, that's director putting camera shots in there, videos, lower thirds, things like that. So make sure everything's on key, on track. So I've been doing that for six years. Actually, I've been directing for five because I kind of started at the bottom. When I first came in, I was at the bottom. So I climbed my way up because I have a passion for media, not necessarily news, but media. So I came in to do teleprompter. I mean, that's the bottom of being in the news world. So I'm doing teleprompter. Then I just find myself want to do more because I know I can do more. So I started challenging myself, and then as soon as you know it, I was teleprompter, and then I moved up to I was editing. So I started editing, which I love editing, by the way. That's like my biggest passion to edit. I can sit for hours and edit. So I started editing all of the news content. So I was doing that for the morning broadcast, which I work in the mornings. So I was doing that. So I started editing. Then from editing to being audio tech, so I learned how to do audio. Then once I do audio, and I became a floor director. So in the floor director, you have the inside people in the studio in the floor kind of giving codes and cues to the talent or the weather person, so you'll know just in case they can't hear, they'll see people flashing up hand signals to make sure time related is on cue, because that's a big thing with news. It's all about time because you got commercial spots and things of such nature like that. So I did that. But once I started doing that, my director at the time, and it was Ed. I like, man, I really want to do what you do because I love multitasking. So I was like, I feel like I can do that. He said, look, man, if you feel like you can do it, I'll start training you. So I started training, started training. I started doing like mock shows. And I was like, man, this is a little hard, like harder than I thought, because there's so much of stuff you got to do. But he said something key, it's about finding your way, finding your style, finding what's comfortable for you. So when I started kind of like winding down, anxiety was high, like, man, like this is a lot. But mentally, it wasn't because I know I can handle it. So I started doing mock shows, and then I showed my boss one day. He like, oh, okay. So it started for me doing like a Sunday show. And from the Sunday shows, I started doing like cut-ins. So I started doing cut-ins, and then I think one day it was sick, and then we worked the same shift. I kind of just got thrown in there. My producer like, Dwayne, like I need you to direct. I was like, huh? Like already? Like I'm not. And then that first initial was such a rush when you see that light come on in 3, 2, 1. It's like boom, and it was amazing. It was amazing. I'm not even gonna lie, it was amazing. And ever since then, it was just it was awesome. And then I think he went to a different market in Savannah, so it was a position open for morning. So of course, the inside people get the opportunity first to apply. So as soon as I saw it, I applied for it, and I got hired. I moved up, signed my name and things like that, and yeah. So been directing ever since. My shift is 3:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. People like crazy early. I do, but you still have the rest of the day off, and I think that was key to me because I wanted a career job that I'm not missing anything with my kids. Definitely, definitely. Now because my girl's in sports, my oldest in sports. I know the rest of them will be when they get a certain age, but I think that's key for me. And then I don't want to miss anything. You know, like if I need to take my wife some lunch, I can do that. You know, if I want to just chill, wind down after work, I can do that. So yeah, it is early, but you know, you got that space in between, so I can still take my girls to school. I'm picking them up. So I think you know it's a perfect balance that I needed, and it's great. So I mean, I continue to work in media. Something that I'm not going to retire from the news. I definitely want to jump into something else in the future. Definitely when my girls get older, I definitely test like working television, movies, see how it is. But the ultimate goal is doing my own business, have my key, opening my door. So that's the ultimate goal. But even working in the news, I learned bits and pieces from working in that, and I bring it over to my business just to conduct with clients and the shots I need, the angles I need. So I kind of intertwine, and it's awesome. It's awesome.
Good stuff, man. You said a few things there that triggered something in me. You were talking about your shift that you work. I myself work night shift, so I was able to wake up in the morning and cook breakfast for the kids, get them on the bus or drive them to school. Pick them up, go swimming, do homework, all that other stuff. Even pray with them before they went to bed, all that.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh, One of my favorite quotes is that the greatest expression of love isn't affection, it's sacrifice.
that's good
So it's like sometimes you got to give up something for what you love and
for
also
sure.
to see it. And also with your kids, the fact that I was a high school collegiate athlete, my kids kind of took on a sports bug genetically. My son played basketball. My daughter played high school, college volleyball. And the fact that my dad wasn't around when I played, I was very anal to make sure I was there. Even if I was working at their games, I was there with my laptop in the stands, headset, what have you. But I was always videotaping their games because people probably know social media. They probably seen them grow up on camera from the time
Yeah,
they came out the womb. Because when I'm dead and gone, I want them to know that I was there because they
for
might not
sure.
remember any of the other stuff. Like kids don't know nothing about a child support check and all that stuff. They
Yeah,
want your presence, not your presence with the TS.
nah, for sure. And
They
I
want them
think
both.
that's right, right, right. And I think that's key. That's very key because I'm big on that. Like that's what sometimes I'll be looking on Indeed and LinkedIn. I'm like, man, I could just drive an hour up the road because I'm in central Georgia. Go up to Atlanta, it's an hour away and go make all this big money. But I'm like, if I do that, I'm missing the moments with my girls and family. And I think that's very important because you can always make some money, but you can't give back the time that you miss with your child, with your kids. And I think that's very important because, when they teenagers, thinking about all that, so these moments now, and I want to cherish these moments now because eventually they're going to be getting older and then want to do their own thing. And then, I think that's the moment then I can really start doing what I want to do with career wise or my business. But right now, I'm just in a perfect situation that I get to see all this unfold right in my hands and not even kind of worry about anything. So I think I'll kind of tell myself that behind the back of my head when opportunities come, like, man, you can make this money right here in Atlanta. I'm like, man, sure we can. Man, it's because I can be doing this and advance my camera equipment. I'll be like, then it just hit me like, yeah, that time gonna come. Let me be
Yeah,
patient.
yeah. And,
Let
and
me
one
be
of the
patient.
things, one of the things my mentors told me, don't chase money, chase excellence.
I like that. I like
If you chase excellence, you can't get out of the way of money. So it's like the doper your skills become, the market will seek you out.
that.
You
Yeah,
see what I'm saying? So
yeah,
it's like keep
yeah,
doing what you're doing. You show people your gifts. God, God makes a way for your gift to take care of you. You
yeah,
see what I'm saying? So it's like long as you're grounded and you're doing things for the right reason, like you'll see so many people chase money. And when you chase money, you're going to cut corners. A lot of times people get a lot of devilment trying to chase money because, it's like you can get it because it's like, just like God bless the devil bless you too, right?
For sure. Exactly.
You
For
know, we
sure, for sure.
see we see so many people out here, with all the glitz, glamour, the bling bling, everything else. You don't know how people got what they got.
Yeah,
Sometimes they may have gotten a car and all this stuff through drug money, dope money, selling drugs, sex, whatever. You know what I'm
yep,
saying? And
yep.
sometimes it was given to them to kill themselves with
Yeah, for sure. For
or
sure.
somebody else they love. So, and one more thing, and I should have, you're so much like me as a kid. I love the way you think, man. It's like, because it's like one, like you're talking about your kids playing, you want to be there. It was that's what drove me, those things, right? And I
Yeah,
told people, it's like most people, and you're in front of the camera and you get to see a lot of dope individuals and all that stuff, right?
yeah, yeah,
It's like most people go their entire life and never get a chance to meet that superstar or that athlete, that entertainer or whatever that they worship or idolize for whatever,
yeah.
right? But I raised mine.
There you go.
You see what I'm saying? And you're
Yeah,
raising yours, you know what I'm saying? And it's like I wanted them to see what I seen. So I videotaped them, I took pictures, I interviewed them. I
yeah,
did that. And so now they could look back at it, and not only did you see them or do you see them as superstars, it's like they get a chance to see that you were there and that you really seen them. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah.
Present.
And definitely now, because like I said, my oldest, she makes sure, Dad, I got soccer, make sure you get my water bottle, all that, bring your camera. So it's just amazing just to see that unfold. I just like be like thanking God, and then I work in the morning time, and then I'd be like, man, I didn't train so many people out of college to come into the media news field to be directors or anything. And I'm training them, and then they go off, get high more page out of me. And sometimes it'll be a reality check, but like maybe that's just my purpose right now to do that. Cause I know I always like kind of pray for longevity. Like I don't want it now. Like I want it when the time's right for me in that moment. So that's why I always tell myself, like, man, like, it's gonna come. But this moment right here is what matters to me. Because like we said, it's not about the money. Like people be millionaires still be committing suicide. All the moments
Exactly.
still not happy. I'm happy
Exactly.
for what I got. I'm happy for what I have. And
Yeah.
I think that's an important thing, you being really happy about what you got instead of like putting on this facade, things like that. But I think that's a
Yeah.
great moment. Even have the younger siblings seeing their big sister doing something, and now my middle child, she's finna get involved in gymnastics. So just have that balance is just amazing. It's just amazing.
Let me ask you a question. So I had a son and a daughter. My daughter was the firstborn, right? And it's like I always thought I knew what love was. I had that parental love. Like my mom really just the way that she loved me was like she made me feel like I was some type of superhero, and I guess I was dumb enough to believe it, but she made me feel that I could walk through walls and leap tall buildings. And I think that's what kind of drove me. You'd be surprised how much parents like their prophecy on their children, what role it actually plays, right? But
Yeah,
I have a question for you because I noticed like with my daughter, it helped me understand women more, because the little girl when she gets her new dress or gets her pigtails in her hair, she's like, Daddy, Daddy, do you like my hair? Do you like my dress? How much have your daughters helped you as a husband relating to your wife?
I think I take it back before my daughters because I grew up around women. My Aunt Janie, my grandma, my mom, my Aunt Sherelle. So I kind of was raised by women. So that's why I have that very passionate soft side because I grew up around women. So then when I have, you know, my daughter, it was just even more like, okay, this is just amazing. Just the things, the nail painting, the conversations, now that me and her have, and then even being more open with my wife. just kind of understanding the balance there. So I always kind of was that soft side kind of guy, towards women, because I was raised towards women. Definitely, single parents, definitely for sure. But I mean, it just kind of fell right in line. Honestly, it's crazy because of how I was raised, and then now I got three daughters, so it just kind of just unfold easy. Honestly, it kind of comes like second nature because of how I was raised. So it's kind of
And it's the same with me, man. I had a godmother that had three daughters plus another relative she took in to raise as a daughter. So, and my sister, my grandmother, my mother. So I totally get it, man. So let's shift gears a little bit here. So, you have this amazing career as a director with NBC, and now you're doing your own thing as well. So tell us, how you got started with your own business in videography and photography, and tell us what you're doing with that today.
well, I started back in I graduated 2010. I kind of started like 2012, meeting a couple of friends, just not playing around. Well, in high school you take that elective, right? So I took a photography class and an IT class, and I was kind of gearing towards more IT back in the day, you know. But then after just being more in photography, just kind of capturing moments, I think that's when I really started gravitating towards that more. And then went to college for 2 years. So I took broadcasting class, film and TV broadcasting, and that just kind of just went through the roof. So I just started filming, editing, and then now fast forward now, I'm more of trying to teach because I teach in the news. I just transfer that over to my business now. So it's been about 12 plus years of me doing film and photography. So it's kind of amazing, it has ups and downs because social media, you be just sitting back sometimes like, man, this guy got that, he got this equipment, because it's all about equipment and who and but just keep on working. You just never know who you might meet. So that's why I kind of got the live and creating your own world aspect from, because just keep on going, because no matter what, if it's a passion, you're gonna continue to do it, even if not bringing no revenue in, even not bringing no money in.
Seek
So
excellence. Once again, seek excellence.
yeah, so it's definitely a passion for me to capture moments and film and edit and be around other entrepreneurs and be around other creative minds. And I think in the future, I want to have a building, a creative space building where people can come and create, and just be like a one-stop shop where you come and get headshots or videos. You can come in there, edit, come in there and just game plan, or even have storytelling, storyboard telling. I just want to have it all in there. Even teach, so I just want to be a one-stop shop where creative minds can come in there and create. Because I feel like it's always a vibe too when you in the media field, media, aspect of it. You kind of want that space where in your mind is you can really get to the table and start doing your thing. So I think that's is awesome. It's awesome.
Okay, okay. So tell us a little bit about like what do you do the most of now? Like I've seen some of your work. I see you do weddings. I see you do other get-togethers. I see you use drone footage.
Yeah.
Like tell the people kind of like what are you specializing in right now, or what are you doing the most of right
Well, right now I'm doing the most in videography. So I like that the most. To do videographies to, people always say, pictures and photography capture moments, but it's kind of the same thing in videography because you capture moments, but it's telling a story. I think video, you can tell a story more than a picture can. So that's just my perspective of it. But I do more of that. And we was talking earlier about some stuff like that, but I think now it's changing because everybody want to capture that to put on social media. If anything, it was like blogging or Facebook or any event, people want a videography there and a photographer. So lately, about a year or so, me and my guy, we teamed up. He does more photography work and I do more videography work. So I think that's kind of important to have that team because it's kind of hard when it's just you doing photography and videography. Because if you look at a lot of teams or people that have businesses, they have that team. Somebody, hey, at this event, I got my guy gonna do pictures. I got my guy gonna do video. They work together, So I think that's very important to have definitely now because people want that. It's kind of hard to say book Lansing Films. Can you do pictures? And I'm like, yeah, being selfish when I got my friend, my brother, he does photography. So let me put him on that money and now just take the videography money part. So I think that's very important to have that. But I'm more focused on videography work to try and master one piece at a time. And I still do photography, but only for like family and friends, close people. But if like somebody I don't know that really need business inquire like, hey, do you do photography? Yes, but let me put you on my guy. He's a way more better photographer than me. He loves it. I'm gonna put you on. So that's where we are at, and we kind of got a theme that we kind of came up with. I mean, people probably use it, but we own some. It's called collaboration over competition. Because I feel like in the media world, there's so many people trying to compete, and then you can just collaborate.
Yeah.
Just go and collaborate, and it'll be so much better when you focusing on just that one thing instead of okay, now I gotta get another camera out, take pictures, and I'm missing this part over here because you want to capture this more video. And I got run back here, and I did it before, and it is exhausting. It's so exhausting.
Yeah, and what you just said is a mouthful because that it spills over into a lot of things. We use that a lot on the podcast, collaboration over competition, because like even in the workforce, you used to have this old hierarchical model where you had the boss just like not do as I do as I say type thing,
Yeah,
and everybody's working off in the pods. You see a lot of the corporations that are winning now even in their office space, they're creating it more of a homey type environment. They're creating more collaboration rooms where people are coming together, working together, whether they're doing video from across the country or around the
yeah,
world.
yeah.
And it's like people are starting to collaborate, like because nobody ever wins by themselves. It takes a team, right?
Takes a team. And I think, because that's something you told me a while ago too. It's hard to do business by yourself. And I stuck that in my head so hard, but you gotta find that right person with the right
Yeah.
interests, kind of same mind, same as you. And then me and Riddell, we got the same kind of mindset on business. So when we kind of found each other, it was like boom. So it's been like a year now we've been working together. Yeah. So it's awesome.
That's good stuff. So, like, when it comes to technology, right? How much has the advent of smartphones, like with the cameras with the dope codec in it, people now are taking some amazing pictures. Like, I have an iPhone, and I thought that was the greatest thing, but now I'm seeing some of these other phones come out. Everybody's coming out trying to beat iPhone. Their codecs are better. The pictures are amazing. You have these apps. How much has that impact the average everyday photographer or videographer?
I think it does. It impacted a lot, but I think just as much as the phone quality, the camera quality is just advancing more too. Cause it's nothing like I guess it's more of that feel of having a photography there with the camera than a phone. You get what I'm saying?
Exactly.
It's kind of like you somebody I feel like I'm somebody if you have that photographer there snapping pictures, snapping amazing pictures. Then with the phone, and okay, then my book at the phone. You know what I'm saying? Just boom. But when you got that photographer there, you're like, man, it's more of a feeling. Like, hey, I'm doing something right now. I got this event going on. Yes, I can capture with the phone, but when you hire a photographer or videographer, you're like, man, that demeanor, that ego kind of gets in there. Like, man, I'm kind of doing something right now. I got the photographer here, videographer here, so I think that's always gonna be balancing out. But I think
Okay.
that kind of override just a little bit. Just in my opinion, I feel like no kind of cell phone usage will kind of override. People still use phones now adapted to the camera as another lens source. So I mean the technology is just evolving. Even with phone, they use that for like another lens. It's just mind blowing. It's
Yeah.
crazy now.
I've seen some of that. And you got to think in the past, like going back in the 60s, like when Kennedy was assassinated or whatever, if there wasn't like a photographer there with a camera to capture those moments, we wouldn't see it. Like through the years, technology is continuously changing, but now most of these phones, most of the greatest moments in the country and around the world aren't being captured by photographers per se. They're being captured by individuals with their cell phones.
Right, for sure, for sure.
And that's why I was asking that question, like because before it was the paparazzi that
Yeah,
was constantly hunting down individuals for that perfect picture or moment that they could sell, for half a million, $1 million or what have you. But I'm wondering how many of those photos today in video are coming from everyday citizens who just happen to be at the right place at the right time and
yeah,
capture.
and then too, just to think about it. Now we kind of dwelling on that. I mean, it's a phone is more quick access too. Like I can take it, send it off, and I can take it and send it on social media. It's kind of it's more tangible to us than camera. You want to get that good angle, to get everybody together. You kind of want to, well, hey, stand here, sit here. The phone, I can just send it to like a group chat, man. This happened, and then now it's all over social media. And then later on, they might go up and touch it up and things like that. So I think it's more fast, quick. Definitely, you're at a concert. I'm gonna snap that real quick and send it off. Definitely, like we said, phone quality camera now is just as amazing as cameras. Honestly,
Yeah.
definitely. So it's evolving. Definitely evolving.
Good stuff. So tell our listeners where can they get in touch with you, like your social media websites. You want to go ahead and give that information out?
Yes, so social media, I'm on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat is Lansing Films, Lansing Films. Even got a website is lansingfilms.com. So come on there, book me for any events, anything you want to be captured wise for video purposes. Make sure you hit me up, contact me. I'll be more than happy to be there to capture moments and have a great time and trying to give out the best um, product to you as possible. And now with social media, now everybody wants that social media content. So I'm kind of shifting more to that gear. When somebody book me, I also record the event and edit it, but I also give them a package deal. So I give them the whole event, and I make a social media Instagram a minute content of it as well too, a recap. So they have that because that's big. Everybody wants to see what happened on social media. So I kind of put that in the package deal as well too, with like no extra, just hey, this is what you get. When you book me, you're gonna, of course, you can get the whole video. Plus, I'm gonna make a mini recap, so you can post that on your social media, because that's big now. Like it's huge.
Good stuff. Good stuff. So, as of today, we always ask this question here on the podcast. What's the matter of your heart as of today? It could be anything. What's concerning you? What's that thing that keeps you up late at night, gets you up early in the morning that you're concerned with? What's that matter of your heart?
That's a good question. Honestly, just to be better than I was yesterday, and just to enjoy the moment, because it's funny because when life is life, and then we kind of go on through the day and not realizing, like, man, we really had a good day, or even if they bad, but just enjoy each moment because we don't ever know how. I tip of a time, we really don't know how short life is. I
Facts.
mean, man, it's so many killings and death I see constantly. Work, enjoy the moment, enjoy the vibes, enjoy the journey. We use process, progression. Just kind of just enjoying the highs and lows because everybody always not gonna be happy every day. That's just unrealistic. But even in your low moment, kind of seek that happiness in there. Like, I mean, I'm down today, but somebody is in a way worse situation than me. So I gotta be happy where I'm at right now. So I think that's where I'm at, the matters of the soul on that part. Kind of just enjoying each and every day, enjoying life, enjoying my kids. Thank God. I had a low moment when my wife had cancer. For a whole year, and even in that low moment, we still was happy in certain areas. Because it could have been worse. It could have turned out crazy. And even in that moment, like I was saying earlier, I had like, man, like I'm finna go find another job. But I had to think like, no, I still gotta continue to take my girls to school, pick them up, be there for my wife as she's taking treatments and chemo and all that thing like that. So I think that changed for sure my perspective of when life and you still got to press on. You still gotta press on. You still gotta keep going. You still each day is a different day. Depends how you view it. Because we're not gonna get back Saturday. Saturday is gone. So we can't go back Saturday. Man, I wish Saturday I did that. Nah, today is Sunday. Okay, now Monday, it's a different opportunity to be better than I was Sunday. So let me try to be better. Let me do things different. It's hard, but it's discipline though. That's kind of my mindset, and that's why I use the live and create in your own world kind of aspect. So yeah.
Oh man, you just you just hit it. You came full circle because that's really the title of the podcast. That's your slogan, and you just summed it up perfectly. And I can't add anything to that, man. I'm talking about you taking words out of my mouth, my soul.
Yes, sir. I mean, it's I don't know where I got that slogan from, honestly. I know back in the day, me and my mom, she used to watch me and my friends edit. My mom was my huge critique, man. We used to be in the office in the entertainment room, like me and my close friends. My friend at the time was rapping, and me and my other friend was editing. She was like, I don't like that. She said, I'm like, no. She always said, y'all need to create y'all lane. Y'all need to create y'all stuff. Don't worry about the outside people. Then it just hit me like, it's like, man, I just live and create my own world. And then I use that not for business, but for everyday life. Like we said, we so busy looking at social media, people doing what they doing. And I feel like that's can hurt us if we don't have that right mindset and tools of thinking about, okay, it's social media. Everybody ain't really living like that. You know what I'm saying? But I use social media to motivate me for my business or anything. Like, my friend is doing film. I'm like, okay, I like what you're doing. So let me use a little bit of that and put it into my business. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's dope, just I mean we can go on for days about, the mindset.
I know, man. Because it's like, and I'm talking about you're blessed that your wife came through it, and
Yes, yes.
and and even though the whole family rallied together to
Yeah,
make sure
yeah.
you
Great
guys were
village,
okay,
great village, great
and
village.
and I
And
kept asking how you were doing.
yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah. And then I mean it wasn't intentionally, you know what I'm saying? Because but um even me, I was like, man, like don't worry about me. Let's focus on her.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. But you know how it goes. It's like
right,
everybody is, which is warranted. That's
right,
understandable.
right, for sure.
But it's like, but if you have to be the strong one,
Right.
9 times out of 10, the strong person, nobody ever checks on them.
Nah, for sure,
You
for
know,
sure.
it's like they just expect them to be strong,
Yeah, yeah,
never be
yeah,
weak. You know, you just
yeah.
got that S on your chest. But
Yeah, for sure. And then it's crazy because I'm not even a person to say my feelings often. So
yeah,
my mom be like, "You good? Like, what are you like?" You scale me 1 to 10. And sometimes I had weak days,
yeah,
weak moments. You know what I'm saying? But seeing her did what she did, the midst of cancer, still graduated in
yeah,
school, was still pursuing her career in the midst of cancer. I'm just like, bro, I
yeah.
have to live in create my world. You know what I'm saying? Because you're
Exactly.
doing this. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, I gotta continue to evolve. I mean, I can't be no pity party.
Yeah, you know, and it's a testament of faith and
For
strength and
sure, for sure. God is good.
resilience, strong family support
Yeah, for sure.
system.
Strong family. Yeah, both
Yeah, but
sides.
you know, and the thing is, it's like it's okay for Superman to be Clark Kent sometimes. You know what I'm saying?
For
It's
sure,
like
for sure.
it's okay for us not to be okay sometimes. You know, you don't stay there, but it happens. But that's why family, friends,
Yeah.
communities, you know, everybody rallies together. So one last question before we go here. What is that one book that most inspired you that you would recommend to other people?
That
It could
one
be
book.
on anything. The one book that you would recommend.
My perspective, uh, it's crazy, but Robert Greene, 48 Laws of Power. I mean, it's a great book. Depends on the mind frame how you use it though, because it can persuade and manipulate your mind to be greedy, to have evil ways. But I kind of looked at it in a different perspective,
Yeah.
So I just think if you have that ill intent, that's probably wouldn't be a book for you. But if you have genuinely like good heart, good mindset, I mean, I think you can pick and choose the tools. You know what I'm saying that you want to. I mean, that's what any book or a novel that you want to get out. I mean, read. But I just picked and choose the topics and things that I had like kind of went from there. You know, it put me in a good business mindset. But I'm more of a visual type of guy, so I gotta see. That's why you and Danny and other people. Like I'm more of a visual guy. That's how my mind works. I have to see it. Like I gotta see it to grab the concept of business, of life, of highs and lows. So I have to see it. But yeah, that's one book. And that's another one that I kind of like. Think and Grow Rich. I forgot the author name. I read it.
Napoleon Hill.
Yes, yeah, yeah. So yeah, I read that. I think when Leia was cooking in the oven, I was reading that book. So it was a while ago, but
Both
yeah.
good books. We have both of them. Matter of fact, they're both sitting on top of my bookshelf. Because what I was going to ask you, 48 Laws of Power, which one of the 48 laws? Because the book to me, we always laugh and say is amoral, but I read it and read it because, you know, within corporations and things like that, people read it and they're using it against you. It's best to know as a self-defense strategy
Right.
how people are actually thinking. So which one of the 48 laws stands out to you and why?
Honestly, I can't even remember because I haven't read it in so long. To be honest, with you, I haven't read it in a while. But I
Like
know
I'll throw a couple out there. Maybe it might like one is excuse me. It says avoid the unhappy and the unlucky, where their problems don't become your own. That's one. Uh, Another one
good one though.
was don't put too much trust in your friends. You know, refriend an old enemy because they'll work twice as hard to become your friend. Uh, Never try to outshine the master. I think that was number one.
Oh, that was a good one. Cause yeah, cause it's kind of like don't bite the hand that feeds you. You know what I'm saying? So, but that's what I'm saying. Like it depends how you view it. Cause I
Yeah,
mean, mentally, I might not be outshine my master, but outwardly, people might, oh man, you better than the teacher. but I'm not saying I am though. Just how I go on with my tactics or how I'm doing my day-to-day routine. It might seem like I'm outshining my master, but in reality, I'm not. So it just depends on how people view that portion. But it's good in business because working in the corporation field, you see,
Exactly.
you can see that, and I just be like, wow, this is crazy.
Yeah, that
You
part.
know,
That part.
yeah, you can
Yeah.
see it. You definitely can see it every day. You see it every day.
Yeah, and then the other book, Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich. There's a chapter in there that Janie and I spoke a lot about, and I think I actually did a reading one day on chapter 11 in that book. It's on sexual transmutation. You should definitely read that over that chapter.
Yeah.
And it's also on video on YouTube. You could actually listen to it if you don't want to read it.
Before we go, it was a guy you put me on, and I'm on him heavy now. I listen to him a lot. Jay Shetty.
Jay Shetty, yeah.
Yeah, you put me on him a while ago, and he got some great stuff
Yeah,
mind-wise that I think everybody should understand.
yeah,
Because everybody have a perspective.
yeah.
But I feel like the way he view life is so amazing. Like, so I kind of be gravitating the things he says. I'm like, man, that's dope to even have that lens change and
Yeah.
see it that way. It's crazy.
Yeah, because if you like his book that I have is How to Think Like a Monk or Think Like a Monk. And he actually went through the process of getting rid of all his material possessions.
That's how I got on it, because you told me that story. I'm like, huh? Like,
it's a good read. I think what happens is a lot of times we grow up in a society and we accept everything that's handed to us. Like if you grew up in Saudi Arabia, 9 times out of 10 you're going to grow up Muslim. If you grow up in Israel, you may or may not be a Jew, but it's like you're gonna grow up, like even here in America, if you grow up and your parents were Baptist or AME or what have you, you're gonna accept that because it was handed down to you. And
right.
it's not a personal relationship until you go out and you read different things and you experience different things, and then you make a decision. Now you have a personal one. So
Yeah.
even though I grew up Baptist, I OD'd in the Baptist church looking at the white Jesus up on the wall. I don't, to this day, I don't know why they still have that up on the wall, because
I
it's like,
don't either.
if you read a few books, you know that's
Yeah.
but anyway, make
Tradition.
long story short, yeah,
Tradition ways.
right. So I'm just saying that to say I've just researched a lot to find out that everybody has a bit of the truth, and that it doesn't hurt to expand your awareness and consciousness so that we could grow. And anyway, we're reaching the end here. So is there anything you want to leave us with?
My ultimate thing is to do cartoons as well too. So be on the lookout. I have been dibbling dabbing that for a few years. I made a few scenes. I'm very self-taught. We talk about that a lot. I think that's a great thing, teaching yourself. Um, but yeah, I'm trying to venture into that. As I get older and then see my girls get older, I think there'll be a time I could kind of focus on that. But yeah, I made a few scenes. I'm just trying to see, when I'm gonna drop it or not. But next time I see you, I'm gonna show you some stuff. Like I've been creating some stuff, so yeah, for sure.
Definitely.
Without putting it on social media either. I haven't posted that because sometimes people sometimes it's like it's good to just not show nothing.
Okay, so all right. So ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Dwayne Hutchison Jr.
Thank you so much. Oh, appreciate it, man, for
All
having me.
right, nephew, love you, man, and look
You too,
forward to
man.
seeing you soon.
Yes, sir. Peace.